I always booked aisle seats. Being trapped by a window made me uncomfortable. But that night, the flight was full, and the only seat left was seat 27, a window seat. The number bothered me, for reasons I couldn't explain, but I ignored the feeling and sat down. That's when I noticed the mirror. It was fixed to the back of the seat in front of me. Not small or decorative, but a real mirror, cracked straight down the middle. When I touched it, the glass felt cold. I asked a flight attendant about it. She told me there was no mirror there. When I laughed and pointed again, her expression changed, and she walked away without saying another word. As boarding continued, I kept watching the mirror. At first, it reflected the cabin normally, but soon I noticed something was wrong. The reflection lagged slightly behind reality, like it was struggling to keep up. When the plane took off and the cabin lights dimmed, the mirror changed completely. It no longer showed the seats. Instead, it showed a narrow metal hallway with flickering lights and no windows. At the end of the hallway was a seat, seat 27. Someone was sitting in it, facing away from me. His posture was stiff and unnatural, as if he hadn't moved in a very long time. I turned around to look behind me. The seat behind me was empty. When I looked back at the mirror, the man had turned around, and I saw that he had no eyes. The man leaned closer to the glass, and the mirror vibrated slightly. I raised my hand, and his reflection copied me, but half a second too late. Then his mouth opened. I didn't hear his voice from the mirror. I heard it directly behind my ear. He said I was sitting in his seat. I turned quickly, but there was nothing there. The seatbelt sign turned on, and when I looked back at the mirror, the man was closer than before. I pressed the call button, and when the flight attendant arrived and saw the mirror, her face went pale. She told me seat 27 had been removed after an incident. She said it wasn't supposed to exist anymore. The cabin lights flickered violently as the crack in the mirror spread wider. A hand pressed against the glass from inside the mirror. It wasn't human. It had too many fingers, bending in the wrong directions as the plane began to shake. Oxygen masks dropped, but no one else moved. The aisle behind me stretched unnaturally, turning into the same hallway I had seen in the mirror. The man stepped out of the hallway and stood beside me. He leaned down and whispered that he had waited for someone to take his place. My seatbelt released by itself, and cold hands grabbed my arms. Then suddenly, the cabin returned to normal, as if nothing had happened. The plane landed safely. Emergency crews boarded, and every passenger was accounted for. Every passenger except one. Seat 27 was empty again. The airline denies the incident and says there was never a mirror on that plane, but maintenance logs tell a different story. No matter how many times seat 27 is removed, it always comes back. And it is always occupied